Cheung Lung on the left and Alessio Foconi on the right. This is the quarterfinals. So because I've already seen the bouts after this, I know that whoever wins this bout will fence whoever wins the bout behind it. So the bout on the green strip over there. Cheung drinking some water, giving his coach Greg Koenig a high five. French coach who's been extremely successful with the Hong Kong team in the last several years. Foconi always does these little jumps, gets him ready, gets him in the game. Makes sense to me. I got to start trying that. A bit cautious. Little straight attack by Cheung, parry by Foconi. Cheung may consider doing a compound attack next or try to get the counter parry. And he tried a compound action, and Foconi did the counter attack, which is exactly the correct match. Little straight attack by Foconi, and this time he went out instead of counterattacking, probably anticipating that Cheung was ready for the counterattack and that he would probably hit. Foconi's pushing a bit. There's a little bit of a beat attack with a very direct finish that Foconi got away from again. Again, he's going with that little blade take, and again, and very, very compound this time. Foconi tried the counterattack, but neither of them hit. So Cheung is trying these very compound actions because his direct actions are not even getting close to hitting, whereas I think he feels that his compound action is pretty close to hitting. So I think he's trying to find a way of how to do the compound action so that he hits, even if Foconi does the counterattack. There he went a little bit into the prep, and then did a counter parry repost that whiffed, and now Foconi is back in the attack. Interesting. So I don't really agree with that. Actually, I don't even really know anymore what happened. That was a little bit confusing, but here's what I saw. So Foconi was pushing, trying to do the counter time, and then Cheung did a feint in time. So he did a compound counterattack. He did a feint disengage around Foconi's parry. And the referee is saying that it's Cheung's attack, but that his first attack was no. So what I interpreted as a feint, the referee is interpreting as a attempt. So it's a very interesting call because Cheung has sent him back to the video. If he comes back and basically realizes that that was a feint and not a failed attack, he sort of has to, he actually has to give the call to Cheung, which would be an unusual call because normally in this situation, you would give it to the person who is continuously moving forward, which was Foconi. Cheung, however, has an argument and that Foconi stopped his attack when he made a big search. It's a legitimate argument. When you make a big search, even from the attack, you, in some theories, lose right of way, but it's unusual for them to call it that way. Generally, you have to stop very clearly and search, and even then, sometimes they will still give you the attack. So I think a more consistent call, consistent in the sense of what all the other referees are calling, would be just to give it attack Foconi. Um, Less consistent would be to say Cheung managed to get the attack in preparation, but still a good call. It's the kind of call that I would like to see made a lot more, but it's just not happening that often, so you have to be consistent. And very unusual call for me is the one the referee actually made, which was that Chung's first attack was no. He's changed it, and indeed, he has realized that it was a feint disengage from Cheung, and so he chose the second option. So which, as I said, is a little bit unusual, but absolutely justifiable, and it's the kind of call that I would like to see happen more often. Yeah, it's 1-1. So I'm happy with that call, but Foconi needs to be aware of that the referee is going to decide like this, and he needs to attack in a way which is more fluid. That was just a very nice, little, basically simple attack by Cheung. Hit to the shoulder, and so Foconi should have tried to parry that, which maybe he did, but he didn't get there in time. But the parry is the right sort of solution to that. Again, simple attack by Cheung, but this time he went to a different target. So switching up how he's doing it, but his simple attacks are working now. So if he continues switching up a bit how he does the simple attacks, but stays with the simple attack as a concept, it could work. But Foconi, of course, is going to be working on how he does his parry reposts. See, he's doing these big circle sixes now, and this time Cheung went very compound, so he did compound, compound basically, and then Foconi was searching in six, and then Cheung was able to finish simple. So Cheung's got his number in these last few touches. Foconi, nice little simple attack, ready for the counter parry. That's his favorite attack in my opinion, and counter attack from Foconi. So Foconi adapts very quickly. So Cheung tried to do his compound attack again, and Foconi got the counter attack again. Foconi's gotten two counter attacks, both on Cheung's compound actions. Cheung has gotten an attack and prep, two simple attacks, and one compound attack. Simple attack by Cheung. It didn't go off though. I mean, it didn't hit. They're both kind of baiting each other. Cheung's simple attacks are working. He went a bit too compound. Went for to the shoulder area, big lunge. I think he was trying to go simple, but I think he anticipated that Foconi would go back. Anyway, he missed over the top, and then Foconi was able to get a repost. Very compound, but he managed to manage the distance very well and was able to basically finish simple. But he didn't hit anything, and then it ended in an off target. Both move forward, both stop, both finish. I would like to see this, unless, I mean, he went straight to the video, which is great. If I could go straight to the video, maybe I would change my mind. But from what I saw, I would like this to be a simultaneous. He says it's from Foconi. Maybe he saw something in the video which made it more clear. Cheung is not happy about that. Neither is Greg. Very nice parry post by Cheung. This is an excellent solution to a simple attack, to a very conservative simple attack. So, of course, parry post in general is a solution to simple attack, but if somebody is doing a simple attack which is so conservative that you cannot really reach them with the repost, if you kind of stand still and then move forward with the parry repost, then you can surprise them and be close enough on the repost to hit. It's exactly what Cheung did, and with circle six flick to the back, it's very, very effective because the lunge in this very conservative simple attack leaves the shoulder very exposed. And if they're moving forward, basically even before you finished your lunge, and you're doing it with the circle six, then it's basically impossible for them to defend against it. But you've got to land the flick. That's the hard part. It's something you have to kind of have a hard read on. Okay, quick breakdown. Foconi has gotten 2 counterattacks. He's gotten 1 attack, which I thought was simultaneous, and he's gotten 1 repost. I'm not sure it was a parry repost or if it was just a repost because Cheung missed over the back. Cheung has gotten at least 2 simple attacks, a parry repost, a compound attack, and I'm missing one. I don't remember. He started compound and finished to the leg. Foconi tried counterattack. He almost managed to block Cheung out. Cheung did a counter time this time. So he started kind of compound. Foconi saw that moment to counterattack, and then Cheung did parry repost, but missed. Wow. Oh, it's the second one? Okay, the referee's saying it's the second one. I thought it was that first flick made it through. That would have been really quite amazing. But it looks like it was the second one, which is still very good. So Foconi he tried to do basically attack in time. So a counter, he tried to do a compound counter, a feint in time. So he tried to do basically a compound counter attack with the flick around the 4. Cheung parried it, and then Foconi did a counter parry repost. And this was, basically simultaneous attacks, but Foconi ended up with the touch. Maybe Cheung missed his or stopped or something. I wasn't entirely sure, but I say basically simultaneous attacks, and then Foconi got the touch because they both started forward, and then that touch happened in the middle there, where they were both going for it. Looked like Foconi got the parry post on that last one. A little bit compounding from Cheung. He doesn't think Foconi got the parry, or maybe he does, but he thinks that he should have hit. Not really sure. Oh no, he's saying it's 1 blade. I think Cheung is saying that's why he put his finger up like he's saying it's 1 blade. And the referee is saying something else. Now he's switching blades. In any case, it ended up going to Foconi. These last 3 touches have been very close calls, a very close situation. Except for the second one, which was very clearly Foconi's parry post 1 light, very nice. But the Foconi's, I think it was his 6th and his 8th touch, were both contested by Cheung. Wow, Foconi's really pulled ahead here. Not even exactly sure how he's done it. Counterattack. It's amazing how fast it can happen. He's injured, but he says he doesn't need a doctor. He's just got hit really hard on the knee. Simple attack by Cheung, parry post by Foconi, and a little parry war for Cheung. Yeah, a little back and forth with simple attacks and parries. Very nice. I call that situation parry war, because they're in kind of a medium distance, and it's basically simple attacks versus parry posts. Of course, with small compound things going on in there, but where it kind of goes back and forth. And Cheung managed that very well. Yeah, I agree. It's attack from Foconi. I mean, sorry, from Cheung. I also thought it was attack from Cheung, but Foconi has sent the referee back to the video. We will see. So the thing is, they're both kind of going back and forth, and then they both attack. And so the question is, who sort of starts going forward first? And I thought it was Cheung. I thought Cheung started going forward first while Foconi was still going back, and then Foconi switched direction with his attack, but Cheung, he was just continued. Yeah, and the referee upheld his call. Looking for that opening. That was maybe the first compound attack we've seen from Foconi. Yeah, I think Cheung didn't get the parry. So Foconi started his attack. I think Cheung searched, and then they both hit, and I don't think Cheung got the parry. I think he thought he got the parry, which is why he celebrated for a second. Parry post by Cheung. That was a good counter time by Cheung. Foconi's been getting attacks on his end of the strip. That was nice. Wow. Cheung is really a master of what I call right-of-way touches. So setting these footwork traps where he's basically going back and forth. That was incredible. Yeah, this Cheung needs this touch, or he needs this to be off target, because this is how he fences. He goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and then when the opponent goes back, Cheung takes over. Not always on the first time he goes back, but he traps his opponent so that his opponent thinks that he's attacking, but actually Cheung is in the attack. And that's really like the number one way that Cheung seems to get touches. He's very, very good at it. He's an absolute master of it. And I see why he thinks it's his. Personally, I'm not sure. The referee decides it's Foconi's. It's dangerous. The right-of-way touches are very dangerous. But Cheung does manage to make them quite clear a lot of the time. Attack from Foconi, but not always. But not always. Isn't it 13? Oh no, maybe they upped it already. Okay. Attack from the left. Simple attack. Simple attack from the left. It's been a long time since he's gotten a simple attack. I still think so. Ooh, parry post by Foconi, just as I say it. I still think Cheung should do parry simple attack. But honestly, that wasn't even really parry post from Foconi. It was counter time, which of course technically is a parry post, but the concept was counter time. Foconi was in the attack, and Cheung just did an attack in preparation, which the referee did give him in the beginning of the bout. So I understand why he's inclined to do that, but the referee hasn't been giving it to him since then. So it's a little bit, yeah, attack from the right. But he's also not doing it in the same way. Cheung's also not doing those very clear attack and preparation like he did. That first one was the clearest of all of them. And even that one you could give to Foconi. And attack right from Foconi. Yeah, you can see Cheung searching. Cheung didn't really know what to do after a certain point, it seemed to me. And I think he got frustrated because he wasn't getting calls that he thought were his. As I said, I'm really on the fence about it. I don't think the referee really did anything wrong. I know some of you are probably going to really disagree with me, but I think that's the nature of those kinds of touches, because you can really justify them either way. Foconi talking to his coach, Filippo Romagnoli. I wonder what they were talking about there, so animated. Let's see, just to talk about some of the tactics going on there. As I said, I think Cheung should have invested more in getting his simple attacks to work. Foconi was not getting that many parry reposts off of Cheung's simple attacks. And also his compound attacks were almost working. He actually got several counter times. So he actually had the tools to break through Foconi's defense. Foconi did get simple attacks, but only when Cheung thought that it was his right of way. So if when Cheung focused on actually defending, Foconi, I don't think got any attacks. And yeah, so basically, I think Cheung should have abandoned the idea of getting the attack in preparation, even though it worked that one time when Foconi. It only worked because Foconi did a counter time and didn't just finish straight. So Cheung should have stopped with the right of way touches, and he should have, when he was being attacked, he should have focused on defense, on actually defending, on doing an actual counter attack and actual parry posts or getaway goes where he can then take over the attack. And on the attack, he should have kept doing simple attacks, changing up the target, and of course being ready for when Foconi does manage to get the parry to do the counter parry, because Cheung was very strong in the parry wars. He had like 2 or 3 touches which were just superb in the parry war, where he was using his height and his extremely good ability to change direction and explosiveness and hit different targets to get the touch. And he could have also gone compound, but then prioritize the counter time. So start compound and then parry repost when Foconi counterattacks. And then if all that is working, then he could also try to work on a way to score the touch from the compound attack. Because he was getting it. When Foconi was focused on parrying, Cheung was getting the compound attack. So if he were to have built up his offense in the way that I said, so simple attacks ready for counter parry, compound attacks where he's focused on counter time, and then compound attacks where he's focused on getting the touch, Foconi would have focused on parry repost, which would then open the door for the parry war for Cheung. Then Foconi would have focused on the counter attack, but that would have been defeated by Cheung's counter time. And then that would have forced Foconi to go more back to try to open the distance more, to try to get kind of a getaway go with parries. And then that would have opened the door for Cheung's compound attacks, because then he's chasing Foconi down the strip while Foconi is searching for the blade at a distance which is too large to counterattack. So that, I think, might have worked, but hindsight is 2020. It's incredible. I mean, this is, it's very difficult. He fenced very well. It was a very close bout, and he did. The only reason I'm saying that is because everything that I just said, he did. He just did them in different moments, and he focused, in my opinion, too much on these right of way touches. I think it was 15-12 in the end, and Foconi got almost all of those right of way touches, and Cheung thought they were his touches. So it's very close when you think of those reversals. There you go. And then for Foconi, he had great counterattacks, which worked well. He got the right of way touches. He had some good parry reposts, I think. And I think he definitely had some counter time. But I'd have to, yeah. But anyway, great fencing from both of them. And Foconi, he found what was working and he stuck to it and he did it. He was very conservative when he was attacking. He almost never did a big compound action on the attack. He stayed conservative, got counter parry posts, fenced his game. And when there was a lot of back and forth and sort of right of way touchy type things, he attacked. Also, when Cheung started doing counter time, Foconi did manage to get a counter parry repost. So basically, Cheung's coming forward, compound, then Foconi does a small counter attack, then Cheung parries, then Foconi counter parry reposts. So Foconi was able to give answers to everything that Cheung was doing, but it wasn't enough actually to win sort of directly just on counters. He won ultimately because of, or he got the difference. They were basically neck and neck, but he got the difference in touches, which let him win through the those right of way touches. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was useful. See you next time.